I'm Lucy Hunsberger. I am the Program Director of Allied Health. I also teach in the Medical Assisting Program, and I work part-time as a medical assistant. The first time I actually heard about phlebotomy was when I came to Central Penn College. I came here as a medical assistant student, and to be honest, I really didn't know what I was getting in for. I had no idea what it entailed. I knew it entailed being with patients, but I didn't know that it entailed drawing blood, which is what phlebotomy primary does. I also didn't realize we'd be sitting for certification, but coming to Central Penn, that's where I learned about phlebotomy and that you can choose that as a career or choose being an MA too. I have always been a helper, so going in the medical field was kind of a natural progression for me, being able to help individuals from all age groups. You can do that either in MA or in phlebotomy, because with phlebotomy you can draw on infants the whole way up to the elderly population. I've actually come full circle, I feel you could say. I started here at Central Penn in their associate's program as a medical assistant. I graduated here, started working in the field, and then I came back because I wanted to finish my bachelor's. I knew I wanted to get into leadership, so the next logical progression, next step for me was to come back and get my bachelor's. So I finished my bachelor's. Right about that time is when an opportunity to teach presented itself. So I got into teaching, which I love because I am with the students. I'm showing them my passion of taking care of patients, telling them real life stories, real world experiences. And then I went back for my master's degree, and then I came to Central Penn after teaching at 2 other colleges, and now I'm the program director for Allied Health. I have been very blessed with quite a few mentors in my life. The 2 mentors that stick out in my life, is Diane Miller. She was actually one of my professors here at Central Penn, and Rebecca Beamer. She was my boss at the first school I taught at, and she showed me what it was like to be a good leader, as far as being positive and upbeat and being there for your students and being there for your faculty and really engaging the students and just giving it your all every time you show up for work. Well, the biggest setback I had was when the school I was teaching at closed. So I had to decide what I was going to do. Was I going to go back in the field, working as a medical assistant, or was I going to take a different path? I actually took a slightly different path, which led me back to Central Penn, but that was definitely a setback as far as where I wanted to achieve professionally, like climbing up the career ladder. But it has worked out in the long run. Just lots of perseverance and support and just not giving up. Some of the big successes I have is I was promoted to program director at my prior school. Unfortunately, I was just promoted here at Central Penn as a program director for Allied Health. So definitely those have been, 2 big things that I've succeeded in. Also too, I never thought I'd be helping to develop programs, but helping to develop billing and coding, and now working on the Surge Tech program. Those are definitely things that, like I said, I didn't think I'd be doing, but now I am, and I'm helping, and that's definitely professional growth for me. That is a really good question, because when you look at the 2, phlebotomy is a great stepping stone if you want to get into healthcare, but you're not 100% sure that's what you want to do. With phlebotomy, it's a 9-month program. You get in, you learn the basics of how to draw blood. We also teach you vital signs too, so you work in amongst, with the MAs. And then when you get out there, you can work in the hospitals, outpatient labs, family practice. So like I said, it's a really good starting point if you're not 100% sure you want to be in healthcare. Phlebotomy it's a great place to start. All right, so definitely being in the field and teaching, you have lots of real life stories to share with your students. The one that pops in my mind was actually a story that when I was teaching full-time, before I was program director, I was faculty, and I was very pregnant with my 2nd child, and I was actually teaching the lab class. I was teaching my students to draw blood. So we had the dental assistant students come in, and my MA students, phlebotomy students, were drawing blood on them. Well, the one girl forgot to eat, and we went to draw her blood, and she went down so fast. She literally passed out on my big 9-month belly. And everybody got scared because this was the first time anybody passed out in the lab. So my students go running down the hall to the faculty saying that Professor H needs help, needs help. Here they thought I was in labor. And I was not in labor. It was just a passed out student. But we still laugh about it when I see some of the instructors I work with, because they, you've never seen people run so fast as that moment. Okay, so if you come in for phlebotomy, it's a 9-month program. So like I said, it's a good stepping stone to kind of get your feet wet to see if healthcare is what you want to do. If you decide that you want more opportunities, then it's a pretty seamless transition going from phlebotomy into MA. All the courses that you would have taken for phlebotomy go right into the associate's program for medical assisting. And then from there, if you choose, you graduate, you're a medical assistant, you love it, you decide to go on for management or more in healthcare, then you can go into the bachelor's degree program. And again, since you are a student here, you graduated here, your credits transfer directly in. And that's what I did. That was one of the reasons why I chose it. Not only did I enjoy coming to college here, but I already started my college career path here. I know there are different high schools that are starting programs where you can start taking college courses, and then you finish up what we call the clinical portion in the classroom here at Central Penn. So ideally you could come out with a certification in phlebotomy or even billing and coding after you graduate, because you started your courses in high school. All right, so with phlebotomy, this is a very hands-on experience. In the classroom, both of the clinical courses that you take, you will be practicing, for example, we do teach you vital signs. That way you have that to add to your skill set. So you practice vital signs on your classmates, and then when you get into the phlebotomy lab, that's where the real fun begins. You actually start practicing how to draw blood. We start you out on a basic foam arm, and this is mainly used just so you are able to know how to hold the needle, how to position the needle in your hand, and then insert the needle. Once you practice with that once or twice, then we do the real thing. So the real thing consists of you partnering up with one of your classmates, and your classmate is going to have a seat on the phlebotomy chair. From there, one of the professors that you have will be assisting you with your first draw, and you will be practicing on each other. A lot of times students get nervous about that, but once they get their first phlebotomy stick under their belt, they usually feel pretty good about sticking somebody else. It also gives an appreciation of what patients are going to be like, patients that are afraid of needles, patients that are just overall afraid of healthcare in general, like they don't like to come to the doctors. So it's good, it's a good experience. So when we send you out to the field, we send you out with at least 25 successful sticks. So you could be drawing quite a few. You could be drawing a lot of blood. But these are the various tubes. We also teach you about the order of draw. There is a special order of draw that you have to do in order to get proper testing results. So we go over in depth the different colors, the different additives that are in the tubes. That is really important. Again, all hands-on. This is just some of the equipment you would be using. The centrifuge you'll get to know very well, because after you draw blood, you need to spin down the blood to send it out in order for the lab to do testing. You will learn the different tests that labs do, should you choose to move into the lab as a phlebotomist doing the testing portion. Some other things here is checking hemoglobin, which is the oxygen in your blood, with finger sticks. We do teach finger sticks for cholesterol and glucose, so it's not just necessarily learning to stick in the arm, but also finger sticks. And then also learning how to do butterflies, which are really small needles, and those generally are done on the hands. But again, the biggest thing is it's hands-on. It's not like we're just showing you how to do it and then sending you out in the field. You are going to have hands-on, real-life experience when you enter the workforce. Another fun thing is A lot of times family members will come in to get their blood drawn, to help get this, like, to help obtain get the amount of sticks that you need. In order to sit for certification, you have to have 25 successful blood draws. So family members are great about coming in. So it's great to get them involved because they really feel like they're helping to support your education too.